You are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Info Media.
One thing, we are better together.
Yes.
Let's keep this momentum. We are in a war against bad people, against hackers, or against coronavirus. We can only beat this if we unite because we are better together.
Hello everyone, welcome to CIOTV.live. Today my guest is Dr. Erdal Ozkaya, Regional Chief Information Security Officer, Managing Director, Standard Chartered Bank, UAE. To give a perspective of his illustrious career, Dr. Erdal is the leading cybersecurity professional with business development, management, and academic skills who focuses on securing the cyberspace and sharing his real life skills such as security advisor, speaker, lecturer, and author. He's an award-winning technical expert and speaker. Some of the recent awards he has received include Superhero CISO 2020, for Hall of Fame by CISO magazine and Cybersecurity Influencer of the Year 2019. He also holds Global Instructors of the Year Award for EC Council and Microsoft. So, Erdal, Dr. Erdal, warm welcome to you to CIOTV.live.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here to speak to you, dear Sanjay.
Okay, my first question is, being in a BFSI industry for such a long time, how do you read about the transformation that the sector is going through?
Just to make it clear, I'm in BFSI for the last nearly 2 years, but before that, when I was working for Microsoft, of course, I was helping lots of BFSI customers, and way before that, when I had my own business as well. So maybe I don't want the watchers to get confused. Erdal is only last 2 years with the bank. More importantly, I'm working with banking and financial sector for so long. And yes, there is a huge change. And one of the biggest boosts of the change was recently, of course, the coronavirus. The coronavirus crisis helped accelerate the digital transformation, not just for banking, also, of course, for many other industries. I'm pretty sure most of you have seen the white paper from Boston Consulting Group, which they said that the paper was called, I have a note here, COVID-19 set to radically accelerate digital transformation in the retail banking industry. There, they mentioned that post-crisis, 25% of consumers used to go to bank more, where it changed after COVID. Of course, in some countries like India, I know they were locked down where people could not go at all and everything had to be done digitally. When we look at the new normal, which coronavirus brought us, moving from branch heavy to product centric organization with legacy technologies and cultures to consumer centric organization with more personalized solutions has to be more seamlessly. For that, of course, the banks have to go away from legacy technology. They have to mature themselves. They have to use more the latest technology, learn machine learning, maybe AI, artificial intelligence, and of course, changing the mindset. I'm not saying, I mean, while people like me comes into the sector or comes to the exec positions, of course, as we are more digital centric, we will help to transform our organizations. And I'm pretty sure when my son, for example, who becomes an exec, hopefully when the time comes, the banking as well as many other sectors is going to change. In my opinion, we will see periods of faster transformation, followed by slower periods, as you know. Yes, coronavirus speeded up some stuff, but it had to be with collaboration with other technologies as well. So it is a challenge, and this is what I see what's going to happen at the moment.
Dr. Erdal, cloud has been a great enabler of digital transformation.
Correct.
And off late, cloud has seen a lot of growth, but banking sectors are not so keen to host their assets due to the regulatory compliances and internal
Oh yeah.
compulsion also. In this situation, whether the country-specific laws are changing or IT leaders are developing in-house capability within the banking sector, what is your view on that?
I mean, I want to highlight your question one more time. Yes, as you said, cloud has been a great enabler for digital transformation. Why? Because you could just build a brand new infrastructure with a click from a browser and with a plastic card, which is a credit card. Yeah, banking sector is not that keen. Not because they don't want to use bank, they don't want to use it, but mostly because of regulators. Um, Saying that, I mean, I work as Standard Chartered, and we had a this is public news. We just signed up with Microsoft, and we proudly, had a press release saying that we are going to adopt clouds where possible. Why? Now, besides putting the bank aside, me as in cyber or as an IT exec, want to highlight that cloud comes with benefits: scalability, flexibility, economy of operations, agility of innovations, and of course, sectors which I am in, IT or IT-enabled services, e-commerce, and many other sectors it's going to adapt this technology because, as I said, the benefits. Saying that, it's also important to highlight that the cloud and managed infrastructure services will continue to clock in, as you said, in aggressive growth rates. Why? Because, for me to build a brand new infrastructure, I have to order servers, I have to software, I have to have trained, skilled people. There, I can just do that straight away on the click, as I said. So when it comes to applications, sometimes it's really hard to get rid of legacy applications. As a result, you have to leave vulnerable servers in. But being able to move this application to the cloud can help you also to be more secure. Also, having better internet services, having data analytics, the help of AI, machine learning in many different areas, along the explosion of smart devices, is bringing the high computing needs and of course storage needs. But this benefit, it's going to ensure that we can help not just as banking, we as IT can help our customers. I mean, that our customers mean not just business customers, also our internal team, right? They use our services. I mean, I think that was the Cyberbank CEO, Mr. Herman, said he has a very nice saying. He says that it's a Russian bank, Cyberbank. He says, the CEO says, we are a technology company with banking license. What does this mean? A bank is saying that. A bank CEO is saying that. So, because can you imagine today a bank without computing? A bank without internet? Without, it's really impossible. I mean, if you look to banking 60 years ago to where it is today, why? Of course, all this happens mainly due to recurring. Why? Because all this benefits is helping to get rid of services. As I said, less branches, for example. Or now I can use bots. Later, I think we're going to talk about it as well, which can reduce my head count and let me help my customers faster. But back to your questions, there is concerns, and the concerns is mainly due to the recurring concerns of data security. I mean, let's say you are a European Union organization, Deutsche Bank or Standard Chartered Bank or Commerzbank, you name it, okay? And let's say you have an office in outside Europe, let's say in Australia or in Dubai. What does this mean? Based on the GDPR regulation, you have to save the European data in Europe, right? So if you cannot do that, you will be penalized. So that's why the banks has to look into regulations and has to work with the regulators to be able to move at least some critical services, which requires to be online all the time, to the cloud, and keep the services which regulators will not allow move to the cloud. So it's all, as I said, it's all based on the regulator. Saying that, again, I want to highlight, there is other solutions. If you cannot use the public cloud, of course, you can use your private cloud, right? Or data centers, they also play important role in this. If you look to any bank which use cloud technology, they can use, the private cloud. I mean, a data center is like a private cloud anyway. It's somewhere else. You store the data somewhere else, not in the building. So if you can put this technology and work with if we can use this technology and work with the regulators, I'm pretty sure we will have lots of benefits. Another big benefit to financial institution will be the consolidation of the IT expenses, cooling, storing. Banks are usually in prime locations. In prime locations, the real estate is expensive. Having huge rooms, huge cooling needs is not, it's not desired. So can you imagine this goes to the cloud and you manage it through that? It is lots of, it saves lots of money depending on the situation, of course. So it's agile, it's flexible, and if you find the right cloud provider, this can help save you in your internal IT infrastructure and the assets and legacy system, of course, which banks usually use.
Now we are seeing a lot of bot services coming into banks, particularly chatbot, but also in backend, bot services are playing a huge role. So, what is the kind of growth that you're seeing in adoption of bot services in the banking applications?
Just before I move to bank, I just remind, like, the banks has to consider, we want to give some recommendations for any IT exec, me as an academic, me as a cybersecurity consultant advisor who worked for years, and a fellow CISO who works in a bank who wrote many award-winning books. There is two important factors in the cloud. Security, you have to ensure that you will not hand off important data to the cloud. You can keep it, or you can use your encryption. For example, Microsoft Azure, you can use Azure Vault and have your own encryption key to work with your regulations and compliance for each of your countries and ensure you understand the cloud, you have full control of the cloud. Now, back to your question regarding bots. Even the name sounds great. I'm pretty sure we all face this up. You got your phone, you call the bank, and a bot answers, and you start to speak to the bot, where the bot guides you through. As you said, bot services have been great help in automating many banking processes. Let's look at the technology and banking. I will not remember, but I read a lot before I joined to the banking industry. We all know banking changed a lot. ATMs, it was a revolution, which is now 6 years old, nearly 6 years old. Then early 1980s, like 35 years ago, the first wave of online and internet banking happened. Of course, not all banks were able to bring this to their customers, but today, everybody is using internet banking. So what I'm trying to say is technology-led innovation has made banking more convenient and, of course, more automated. I don't have to get into my car, drive to the bank, find park space, get a ticket, get into line, speak to the person and do my banking and come back. I can just do it all from my fingertips. So while this happening, back to bots, of course, all this technology is helping. And from what I can see, banking bots generate better results and they enhance the experience that any organization uses, actually, not just BFSI. They can generate additional revenue opportunities. They can help you have sales conversation without having a human interact with. You can onboard new customer much faster than traditional ways, which means you can work more efficiently with your customers. You can improve your debt collections via sending automated messages, via having notifications, bringing up. And of course, all this is lowering the cost of the service and bringing a super customer experience. Saying that, not everybody is going to be happy. Look, I was not there 6 years ago, but I bet when the first ATM was there, many people refused to use the ATM and they went inside to the branch.
Yeah.
But today, people refuse to go inside and they use the ATM. Why? Because of Corona, for example. So replacing human interactions with smart bots, it's not just increasing productivity, also health as well. Of course, it comes with other risks. But if we go back to bot questions, many customer-facing jobs can be done now via bots, and you don't have to have someone 24 hours being awake to speak to a customer. You can fully automate it through bots. And of course, there is many different bots which have different needs. For example, individual bots that have specific missions and they can perform certain tasks, can be deployed in many different cases. For example, onboarding a customer. I know Standard Chartered Bank, for example, in UAE at least, or in many other countries as well, you can just go to the app and get a brand new credit card straight away within 10 minutes. This is innovation. If you think 20 years ago, what 10 years ago getting a credit card could be, you had to go to the bank, you have to sign 500 pages, and they assumed you had all the terms and conditions. But today, you can do it all without seeing a human. Then there's, of course, different bots, such as application bots. We just talked about onboarding bots. An example, when you apply for a banking loan or for a credit card, as I said, you can just do everything online. You can take a photo of your ID, and as soon as your ID has been taken, many bank has access anyway. The AI at the back can verify verify if it's a real human, can verify the credit notes. Whatever is done by a human can be done by bots. Besides that, there is outbound and campaign bots. Instead of me knowing all my customers, I can group my customers depending on the income, depending on the needs, and once the marketing team or the sales team creates a new opportunity, you can use the bots to reach out to your customers. Besides that, an account bot can help you to, instead of speaking to someone, you can just today, even on the phone, via the telebot, you can learn how much debt you have in your card, what you need to pay. Again, as you said in my bio, I love security, no matter what it is. And as long as you can provide security and be compliant with the regulators, all is good. And looking at that, having a human factor, regardless, most of the banks, okay, all banks actually, before I joined full-time the bank, I went through I think 2 months extensive checks. They checked all my history. Even when I was a consultant, before we signed the contract with any bank, I had to go through a security clearance. And, I can be still a broken employee, right? Happens many times. Call center people, they used to write down credit card details of the customers, and in a paper, take them out and sell it to someone else. It happens. Can you imagine now, as nobody is in the other side of the phone and it's just a bot, you have better security, and I think you have better compliance opportunities as well. So bots, keep it short, bots, I believe, is going to change a lot in banking, has started to change a lot, and it's a big help.
All right. So you nicely elaborate on the bot services and bot services evolution going forward. Help to the banking sector. Now, the other thing that which is a big challenge for the banking sector is the cyber security. So that's the biggest concern behind any kind of digital transformation. Now, when you talk about bot, also it brings its flip side, which can be targeted by the hackers. So what should be the resilience practice or cybersecurity practice? What is, in your opinion, banks should adopt, digital strategy along with a cybersecurity strategy as well?
Oh, I can talk about this days. I wrote most of my books is all about that cybersecurity. How can we secure? Look, every organization has someone like me, a CISO. An organization like us, we have a group CISO, we have regional CISOs, we have country CISOs. In my opinion, of course, the CISO is the ultimate responsible person for security and cybersecurity services. But if the CISO can get the mindset of security to everybody from A to Z, from a contractor to the security guard inside the bank, the cleaner, to the CEO. If we can look from a different glasses, and I say this always, do I have glasses here? Yes, I do. If you get a glasses, I'm pretty sure you can see it, yes, and put a glasses here. I call it like, regardless what the job is, regardless of what you look, if you can look from a different perspective, all right, I'm using this. What are the risks? How can I secure that? What will hackers do to trick me and to steal that? If you can think about this, you're going to be in much better state. Again, cybersecurity, how can you, if you look the changing security landscape, most of the issues comes that the people are not following the basics. When I say the basics, passwords, they still use, passwords are weak, the systems are not updated, they use legacy applications, they don't build a red team, they don't have a blue team, or they don't have a proper incident response process. If you can have all these and build a cybersecurity strategy which is aligned with your business needs, and more importantly, has a goal to be secure as necessary, then you are on the right road. Look, there is no way to stop a hacker. Hacker is always going to find a way to breach through. As long as you can, it's like, regardless how much vitamin you do, you take care of your health, you take shower. If I have a mite in my hair and you somehow come in a public place next to me, the mite can jump from my head to your head, regardless how secure you are, how clean you are. So unless you are bald like me and Sanjay, that's a different story, of course. So back to cybersecurity. All what you have to do is ensure that you are up to date, you follow, the basics, as I said, you think like a hacker, and you implement the best practices such as defense in depth, such as encryption, such as multi-factor authentication. I can talk, as I said, all day, every day, and know what's happening around you, then you can be more secure. Why? If you're living in a street where there is a high crime rate, and you don't lock your door of your car, of your house, You cannot blame the police. Like coronavirus, all what you have to do is, these days, wear a mask, try to keep social distance, have hand sanitizers all the time, try not to touch your mouth, with your hands, your face. Then you should be much more secure than people not doing any of these. The same thing applies to cybersecurity.
Banks using artificial intelligence or analytics, business analytics, so which are helping the enhancing banking capability and the customer satisfaction also. And I'm seeing lots of banks are, it's a journey in the journey organizations are adapting to these things. So what is the trend you are seeing in BI implementation? Are they concerned about their competitive advantage? Are concerned about reputation? Concerned about customer satisfaction as well?
I love the questions. Many people think AI or ML, artificial intelligence or machine learning is new. Honestly, it's not. Let's start with a quick history. AI, as I said, is not a new concept, and it was first defined in 1956. Of course, the ability was different back then. The ability was the computers to perform tasks that were characteristics of human intelligence, such as learning, making decisions, solving problems, understanding, recognizing speech, and whatsoever. Machine learning is a broader term which refers to the ability of the computers to get new skills, which is a subset of AI. So, as I said, AI is the study of a computer science that focuses on developing software that mimics or exceeds human intelligence. Of course, there is different AI, such as narrow AI, blah, 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 blah. But when I go back to your questions, all this is just adding all this explanation, I hope, shows the value of AI. Even AI in cybersecurity can help a lot. Why? Because at the moment, cybersecurity is true as well as a human based. But let's say I'm a SOC analyst in a highly sensitive organization. There is in a bank, for example, there is a fraud happening. Someone is using a stolen credit card, and the credit limit is, high. If I, as a SOC analyst, had a bad day, let's say 5 minutes ago on my break, I fought with my wife. While I was coming to work, I had an accident. Tomorrow is the last day of my credit card payment. I'm a human. And it's 3 a.m. in the morning, and it's my first night shift after 2 months. Me being able to detect that little line requires really, really, really lots of energy. Having AI here can save that employee as well as the bank or whatever organization it is. So the AI is bringing a lot into the game. But of course, I'm pretty sure you watch all these great movies, the Hollywood movies, right? The Skynet movies or the Terminator. The first Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know if you watched it, Sanjay, did you?
Yeah.
He comes from the future. He comes to kill someone who's gonna, the robots taking over. And this is another concern of AI, right? Or what if the hackers use AI against banking, for example?
Absolutely.
That's why there is always a confession between man and human, and it comes back to the basic. All what you have to do is having the ability to analyze everything in real time without depending into a human, where you can detect any possible faults, where possible prevent, or if something happens, respond. So the automation here can save, as I said, in hacking. Every second is important. The sooner you detect the attack, the less damage you can have. It's like if you have cancer in your body, God forbidden, and you find out about this in the late stage, most probably that human cannot be saved or animal. Where early detection can save your life. In this, like AI can be also used not just in BFSI, in medical. Can you imagine you go to doctor, the doctor puts your input in real life, and it compares. Like if we had AI data, then the first coronavirus hit. It started in China, then it started to jump, but the pandemic decision from World Health Federation came months later. So if AI was in place and they could detect the same pattern, maybe the pandemic could be announced earlier and less people would be affected.
So next thing is that work from home is becoming a new normal. Most of the organizations adopted. But is banking sector or fintech adapting to it? Because again, human error, human security, all those things are coming into play.
Well, I'm at home at the moment. It's working hours, and for the last 5 months, I'm working from home actually. And funny enough, these days I'm in Sydney, working from Sydney. In a Dubai Bay, I mean, our bank is global, but my region is Middle East, Africa, and Pakistan. But I manage it from here in Dubai time zone. So working from home, before earlier I worked in other companies. It's a pleasure. Some organization detected this earlier, like at Microsoft. I was working mostly at home. This saved lots of money of me not having an office space, me not going daily to the office. Honestly, sometimes, not sometimes, now in the banking, when I first started in the bank, I had to go to the office if I had meetings. I used to travel a lot. But me being at home saves the traffic time, saves all this, hassle. It helps to pollution the environment. I think it's a gem for all of us. Okay. I mean, for someone like me who works from home all the time, I love it. Excellent. But there is lots of cons which can come. Like many organizations were not ready because the government started to put the lockdown saying you cannot go out. If you have a laptop, no problem, that's my work laptop. You cannot see it because of the background, but if you have a laptop, it's as easy. What if you didn't have any laptop? So the digital transformation, as I said in the beginning of our chat, was enforced by COVID. But working from home comes, as I said, with lots of responsibilities. You notice probably all this attack factors. Look, in January 2020, early this year, early January, there was, very few COVID-related websites, domains registered. But in February 2020, there was more than 80,000. And this number reached out to 100,000 plus just in March. In less than 2 months, the number went from very few to 100,000 plus. And of course, most of them were created for viruses, for spamming people. That's why you have to give your employees basic training of digital security. You have to enforce them to have strong passwords. They should have enforced cyber awareness training. You, as security professional or CIO, have to have, I mean, honestly, like my own phone, I just updated right now the latest iOS, which was I just received a notification half an hour ago. I took the risk for being offline for a little bit because I know the security risk which can hit myself. So please have your software up to date. Use encryption for organizations or even for personal users. Have backups. I have so many friends coming to me. They were hit by a ransomware attack, which is very popular these days. I'm pretty sure you're aware of Garmin, CTW, TravelX. So many organizations hit with ransomware. What was ransomware? Basically, they kidnap your child and ask you for money. Otherwise, they kill the child. What they do is in computing, they encrypt your computer or steal your data and saying, hey, if you don't pay me the money, you will not get access. And friends come to me, hey, Erdal, you are a doctor, you're a cyber guru, decrypt this computer for me. I'm like, unfortunately, no, it's not that easy. It can take years. Do you have a backup? And most of the time, the answer is no. Or some of them have backup with, go straight to cloud. But, the ransomers are smart enough. They encrypt the backup in the cloud as well, which you lose access sometimes. Depends on the cloud provider. So having backup can save you from the hassle. Then, you should have the right software solutions. You should use, I can show you. Here's my personal phone. Let me see. Yeah, you can, I think, see it that's big in my hand. I use MFA for my Facebook, for my Instagram, for my Twitter, for my LinkedIn, for my emails, and for my work. What is MFA? Multi-factor authentication. I can give you my password right now with my email address. But for you to be able to log into my account, you have to get this authentication code. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to log in. So basic security, yes, I know MFAs can be hacked, was hacked in the past, but all what we're doing is making the hacker's job harder. And working from home is a gem, as I said, as long as you know what you're dealing with. Back to my early example, if there is COVID, wear your mask, take your sanitizer, protect yourself.
Right, absolutely.
If there is digital risk, hackers, follow the basic, don't click on everything, think twice, ask, and so on. Sorry, I know I talk too much. I apologize.
No worries. Okay, thank you very much. And the last question, that what is the kind of advice that you have in store for your peer group or the people who are coming into your shoes in terms of decision making, right practices, so on and so forth?
For people that want to be CISO or IT professional?
Yes, obviously CISOs or CIOs,
Yeah, look, right here at the back, you can see cybersecurity, the beginner's guide. I wrote them. Actually, what we can do is, if you want, let's share your and my Twitter handle. Okay? If people tweet about the session, my Twitter handle is Erdal_Ozkaya. So basically my name. They can just, if they tag you as Enterprise IT and my account, we can give for 5 winners the book. I will send it to you. You can send it to them. Okay? So if you're listening to the session and you want one of these books for free, just tweet about the session, share your feedback, and you will get. I'm in every social media. I wrote a huge book about what I recommend. So even today, Instagram, I shared a beautiful photo saying, whatever you want to be, everything starts with the first step. Thinking is good, dreaming is good. But for example, me, I want to lose weight, right? Especially in this pandemic, working from home, not moving as before, and eating, look at my, I have here, I have all this snacks around me. Of course, I'm going to put some weight. So if I want to lose weight, I should not dream to go to gym. I should go to gym. By the way, so is cybersecurity. You cannot build your muscles while just dreaming. Go do. Don't be afraid. Reach out to people like me. Look, Enterprise IT World is doing a great job. All these interviews, all these sessions, they hosted, one global and one in UAE, and I'm pretty sure in other regions, many conferences. Join and listen. Nobody's asking for money. And they have a great website. Go and read. If you don't, you know who you are. You are whatever you read. So if you're not reading, unfortunately, you're nobody. You might be rich. You might be being a successful businessman. Unfortunately, this is not the right criteria being rich will not make you good or bad. Being smart, adding value to humanity. With all my respect, all these books, money was not my main concern. And as you heard a few minutes ago, sometimes I give them away for free. And I see so many, so many websites they share for free. I know I'm not doing it for the money. I just, look, I'm a regional CISO in a bank. I speak in all these conferences. Some of them are really paying well. Some of them, they are not. But as you said in the beginning, it's my passion, and you follow your passion. This will make you successful.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to CIOTV.live, Dr. Erdal. It is absolutely fantastic to hear you speak so phenomenally, so passionately. Love to host you
Thank you very
again
much.
and again.
As usual, I think now I'm owned by Enterprise IT CIOTV. That's my second or third one. And as long as I can, I'm more than happy to come and contribute. Thank you again for the superhero award, for the contribution. This encourages us to give even more to the community. One thing, we are better together.
Yes.
Let's keep this momentum. We are in a war.
Yeah.
Against bad people, against hackers, or against coronavirus. We can only beat this if we unite, because we are better together.
Absolutely.
So if you are sick, stay at home. If you know something, share. The only thing which gets bigger, which doesn't lose value, is happiness. If you make someone else happy while teaching something, you will not lose any value, and this can go for free. Thank you again for the opportunity, and I'm really looking forward for the next talk. Thanks, Sanjay, CIOTV, and Enterprise IT World.
Thank you. Have a nice day.